Hi, everybody. It's a pleasure to be here today with the winners of our previous hackathons and events. Um, what we'll be doing today is we'll be introducing their stories and asking some questions about the experience. So you all have a chance to share with the world, with our audience, um, what was your experience and what have you done since then? Where are you taking your projects and what have you learned and what can everybody else learn? What they can find about you and artificial intelligence in general. We'll be talking about that today. So thank you very much, everybody, for accepting this invite, joining us stream. My name is Pavel, and together with Matthias, we are co-founders of LabLab.ai and New Native, who are responsible for LabLab and also Slingshot and NextGrid. And you can find out about those through our websites. Without further ado, it would be great to hear from the winners. If everybody could just start with a super short intro, just tell us about yourself, describe your project, and how did you get the leading position in the hackathon? What was your unique thing that you feel made you win the hackathon? And I will start maybe with Christian, yeah, if that's okay, and we can take it from there.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm Christian. I'm a data scientist and a computer engineer, and I carried out many projects in a variety of different fields, from autonomous driving, computer vision, so. And the project that I did for the Transformer Hackathon, in my case, is an aided diagnosis tool that allows clinicians to identify region of interest in a given medical image and allows them to see where are the more crucial areas which should be addressed by him or her. And I think it is the real-world impact that such a project has that made it stand out, possibly, from many others.
Brilliant. So that's really nice. Great to have you. And Omar, maybe you can just do a very quick intro of, tell us about yourself and what was your project about, and everybody else listening.
Hey, I am Omar Siso. I'm an engineer, also working as a teaching assistant in machine learning and embedded system field. My project was about auto-translate language using Whisper AI. And also we did the one which won the Wolf Summit Hackathon was targeting the climate change and how we can save the world and the every being. And that's all.
It's great to have you. I just see your handle, but I don't know the name. So Ixorus.
Hi, yeah, my handle's Ixorus, but my name is Vikram. I'm a second year computer science major at Virginia Tech. Our team won the Thanksgiving hackathon, and we entered Taldera, which was a summarizer bot for Discord channel activity. I think the reason we did well is because we identified like a problem that a lot of people had, and especially for Cohere, they have like a community server. So I think they like sympathized with the issue that we were having. And also the implementation ended up being pretty clean with our demo. Since then, we were able to deploy the bot, so it's currently in Cohere's community server. We haven't had much time to work on it because I was wrapping up my final exams, but now that it's like winter break, we'll see what we can do with it.
Great, thank you very much. Augusto, great to have you. Please tell us shortly about yourself and what was your project and why did you win? What was so unique?
Yeah, sure. I'm Augusto. I'm originally from Argentina, but now I'm on my first year PhD in economics. So I'm like an economist turned data scientist in a sense. It's just a passion we have on the sideline. I think we identified as a team that we got second place at the Cohere's Thanksgiving Hackathon. Actually, we were able to organize ourselves as a team really well and fast, even though none of us knew each other, which I think that was a strength on our team to be able to recognize problems fast and stuff like that. And then for the specific use case, we developed an AI nurse assistant that can help by the chat interaction with users. By having a natural language conversation, they can infer why the potential patient is inquiring in the hospital, for example, and then that helps reduce paperwork and a lot of other bureaucratic things that I thought was a good real world impact. Which, yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, and I'm sure. Yeah, it definitely is why you want that, right? Because of the real world use case. And so again, I'm not sure about how to pronounce the name, so maybe you can help me. Clean.
Fionachi, yes, that's me.
Nice. Yeah,
Yes.
we spoke just a few days ago, actually, but I don't remember how to pronounce the name exactly. I'm sorry. I'm super bad with names. So tell us about yourself and why. I know why did you were in the top, but what was so unique about your project?
Very good question, actually. I just want to talk a bit about myself first. So I'm basically from the background of biomedical engineering field and focusing on some of the mental health techs. So do everything is just impressive and helpful to the community. So one thing I want to stress out is that throughout all those projects that I built in LabLab.ai, I can see how it is helping me and the community to cut down the time of the people who actually need to waste in the mental health care industry to become better. So when I have to say about the strength that we have as a team, of course, it would be identifying this problem and solving it straight to the point by lowering all cost, time, and energy that the people need using AI. Yes. It.
Super great to have you here with us as well. So we are thinking to run this conversation much like a panel. So we're going to ask a question. The question is for everybody. Anybody that wants to answer, there's going to be a few questions, not more than 10 in total. So everybody gets a chance to talk about themselves a little bit, about what they're doing. And you don't need to answer every question, right? We'll move on to other questions. So I'll start this. So first of all, what inspired you particularly to participate in an AI hackathon? And what made you join the movement behind AI builders that is LabLab? And what was the inspiration to join all of the other builders? So who would like to take the first question?
I'll volunteer. Sure. I think I was the point in my studies where I really wanted to test how much I had learned in the past year or so since the last time I participated on a hackathon. And in the past 2 years, I've been working a lot of natural language processing and AI in particular. So I thought it would be a great opportunity just simply to test my current abilities in a sense. And it's always great to be behind this movement because you meet new people, like-minded individuals that maybe end up being your collaborators, in the next hackathon or just on a side project that has nothing to do with the hackathon itself. So we definitely made some new friends, and I think that's the whole culture that's, it's great. It's not just about winning, making the best AI.
Awesome. Anybody else can share what was your inspiration to join the movement?
Well, I think I'll go next because, for me, I see AI as very fun tool at first because I just want to come here and play. As we see that some of them, they name the tools as playground, sandbox, and you know that it is actually a place for us to create like endless of possibilities. Just imagine us as the children in the playground playing with all these things. So after that, I realized that I have like much more reasons behind in terms of how I want to use some of those tools for humanistic values. And I see people who are passionate to change the world using AI tools. So those things, I mean, those values just kind of move me and make me feel like I want to join. Yeah.
Great. I would love to know from some of you guys, like first of all, like how did you first get in contact with, say, generative AI or AI transformers? Like when did you get aware of this technology? And then kind of how did you end up at the LabLab platform? Like how did you find it? Okay, we need a volunteer.
I could start with this one.
Awesome.
Well, Vikram.
Yeah. So for when it came for like the Transformers architecture, I think I first heard about it in last semester, because I was on this research project which had to do with building like a better transformer for like word problems, like middle school level word problems. So that was the first time I really heard of it, and I read all like the academic papers around it. And then I sort of dropped off of that project because I was prioritizing other things. But then I came back to it because right now I do lectures for the Machine Learning Club because I lead it. So I've been like reading through the architectures again, and then that's how I got like cognizant of that, and then also Transformers hackathons.
Great. Thank you. Do we have anyone more that could share with us? Okay, so I will then pick someone. Christian, when did you get to learn about this type of technologies, and how did you find us?
Yeah, I wanted to leave space for others because my story wasn't that as amazing, let's say, because it was just a master thesis presentation in which I first heard about Transformers, which, however, was actually like 3 years ago. So it was about the first kind of transformer architecture. There were no wind or vision transformer and so on. So it was just the basic transformer which was starting to get recognized. And also it involved also the Hugging Face platform, which at the time was much less known. And yeah, that's the first time I heard it. Then I left it on the side because my kind of work is more on the convolutional networks, but now also revolves around the transformers. And yeah, I've seen it again there. I decided why not practice it in this nice setting of the LabLab AI hackathons.
And how did you find us in the first place? Was it like an ad, or you were Googling for something, or?
I think it was about something about hackathons because I was searching for whether there would be other hackathons from Hugging Face because they did one. It was quite rare, it was in April of last year, well, this year, but like at the start. And no other hackathons were there, so probably I found it that way because you do them quite frequently, so there are often opportunities to join in. Probably it was either that or an ad.
One way or another, yeah. Awesome. Thank you for sharing this with us. The reason we ask is just if we understand better kind of your journey, finding us, we can work more on it and help even more people to find the platform, because bottom line what we want is just people to come and build with new AI technologies and innovate around them.
If I can add a point to that, also the previous question, which is that this is like probably one of the few places where you can practice the things that you learn in university, but in a very frequent manner. Say that in a period you don't have time to join an hackathon, and that was the only opportunity. And you provide a setting in which every week there is one. And so you often are able to find opportunities to join and practice hackathons with people in group projects, which in university is basically once or twice in a semester, and that's it, if you're lucky. Mm-hmm. At least here in Italy, it's very rare to find opportunities to work as a team.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you so much. I don't know if you have some question in between here, Pavel. I would love to know how it is to work in team with people you never met before. Tell us, what's the upsides, what is the downsides, and yeah, I would love to hear.
And it would be great to know where were the teams from, were they very international, and how was it working with that? So that's if anybody can share about that, awesome.
Okay, for me, my team was from Egypt. Actually, they were my student, and I love to join hackathons with them and competitions. This encourages them to do more, to be a better engineer, actually. And let's make it too close between us, like a friends, or better than that. And every year, I have students were more better than my brothers, and they love to do this because it actually give us more opportunities to know more about new technologies, and I also learn from them a lot about new things, and we can do it together. We can do our own startup to keep going and use new technologies. Like we are doing last hour project and using PCI to can handle strokes and use to control a new arm for disabled people. So we are a little community, but we are trying to join an international something like Lab. Give us a big chance, be more better. Thanks.
Thank you. So, if I understand right, you came with a pre-created team and joined a hackathon to build. Is that correct? Like you had a team when you enrolled, so you did know the people you had in your team.
Actually, I had my own team.
Okay.
Team. But every time they change from a student to another, to help them to go through the process from the start till they submit their project. For the first grade and second grade in our college, they are doing so well to participate in something like this.
Awesome. So you are basically pulling your students in to participate in the hackathons. Is this correct?
Yes, and also we have another team. We are doing like a startup. They are going to the next hackathon. They will do a great job. Interesting.
Nice. Thank you so much for sharing that information. Did anyone here work in a team with totally unknown people that you met during the hackathon?
Yeah. Maybe I'll speak a few words because the people that I met here are from totally different countries. And I have the experience with Irene, the recent project. And all of us are from different countries. So some are from Latvia, and then we have one from Germany, one from India, one from Nepal, and I'm from Malaysia. So yeah, as crazy as it sounds, we just get to know each other online, virtually, and we just plan out who's gonna be coding which part. So as I've said in the previous, during the winning stage. But then I would like to say that we don't see this as a barrier, but we see this as a benefit to how we just tell each other what is being needed to relay, so that when we go to sleep or take some rest, then another person could just work on it. So that's a thing that I find very interesting. Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much. Pavel.
Yeah, I would like to hear from one more person around the team building exercise. So, how did you find the team? Did you have to kind of around ask people to join, or was it super easy? Who else was working in a team, and kind of what was your experience finding the?
Shall I go? Okay. So in my case, it was a completely random team that I created like last minute. We found each other like let's say we have like 5 minutes to make the team. Like it was 6 p.m. already basically. So we have 5 minutes. Whoever is up for the challenge, and we gather together. And we were like. A few people from South America and one from North America, and me from Italy, and another person from Germany, if I remember correctly. So we had also to face issues of time zones, and we had different expertise also. Like one was a front-end developer, which was firstly seeing AI stuff, another a data engineer, basically, another AI engineer. So also very different backgrounds, but we managed to put it together.
Yes, apparently you did, as you did very well in the hackathon. I would also, just before we jump to the next one, love to know like what is the most important thing we can improve around this like team process to find a team and match with a team. Like what function or feature would be really valuable or helpful here. So I would love to know if any of you have some feedback or ideas around that, and we will for sure take that into heavy consideration when pushing some new updates to the site.
Can I say it also? Sorry for
yes.
Well, basically, in the Hugging Face Hackathon, they did this thing, which was, I think it was like very useful to meet people who were interested in the project, because they had an Excel file in which you propose your idea. For example, you give it a name, a brief description, and possibly the topics. And then the members would sign themselves as possible candidates, and you accept them or not in the Excel file. So you have the list of projects beforehand, and people can join in by signing themselves on the file. Of course, you have to accept or not. But you basically, the idea is to have like a project pitch beforehand in this simple format, so that people can see and say, okay, I want to join that project.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great idea. We'll definitely look into that. August, do you have any suggestions how we can improve the matchmaking?
I think that in the spirit of the AI company as itself, I think it would be great if you guys could use the profiles to sort of recommend projects for people who are looking for teams. It shouldn't be something that needs a whole lot of data. Just a few. I see it working as just a few interests that the user specifies beforehand when they register for the hackathon or something like that, and then usually they're people that go with an idea that they want to build their project. So if you can match those two features with Christian's idea and some sort of recommender system that can help people who maybe don't even know what they want for a project, right? Maybe they just want to practice. On our team, for example, we had 3 who didn't know how to program. They were just there for fun. So it's a different team environment there because you have to mentor them. It's not just, hey, do this task. So I think that could help a lot.
Yeah, very good feedback there also. Thank you.
And then if I can add like one more feature idea, maybe for the Discord itself, not for the team building. You guys should have like a work clock with all the different time zones right there on the Discord. I get myself like all the time Googling what's the time at this time zone. Like I had no idea. I was so confused. So if that was something already on the Discord, I think that could be an interesting feature.
Yes, definitely. Olesha, please communicate this to our community manager, Anastasia, so she can implement.
That is a very good idea, and also maybe to, when you have your profile, potentially to add the time zone you are in, so that would also show up next to your profile. That could also be helpful at some point. Okay. We can move on to the next topic, which is technology, I think, right? And it would be really, really good to get your thoughts just on generative AI technology and the stuff that you actually used, right? So
maybe what makes people excited about this specific type of technology?
Yeah, what made you excited about this specific type of technology, and what did you use out of the generative technology stack, right? Specifically.
I can go for this.
Yes.
I'd say that probably what makes me most excited about generative AI is like the scale, or like the pace it's going at, because it's expanding very rapidly. Because, I mean, even recently you had the release of ChatGPT, which I think is pretty close to passing the Turing test. So things like that are pretty exciting. At the same time, it's also kind of like nerve-wracking, because like the regulations for, like, let's say the government aren't really up to par, or like you'll also have to change different like creative industries, because I think creative industries get hit first over like logical industries like higher level mathematics. So I'd say it's both like really interesting, and also like you also really have to think critically about it. From that stack, what we implemented was we used Cohere's API. So we use their generative endpoint for text summarization. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it.
Right. Thank you. Who are next telling us why you are excited about this technology?
I'll pitch in my 2 cents. I think the key, I've been working mainly on like question answering within natural language processing. And now that you have generative AI, this is the first time that you can have a computer generate original text. And from there to go a few steps farther and try to understand how you do inference in a way to self-reinforce the algorithm so that it can start learning by itself. I think that's a big step forward. And that's when you start getting AI that is really helpful for things that like creative, like writer's block, things that are very common to a lot of people that can really, really boost productivity in general. Then there's the whole thing of creating new industries or disrupting existing ones. But I think the main fundamental change is going to be a technological change that is going to be applied to everything, and just a lot of productivity improvements. I think that's what I'm excited for.
Thank you. Great answer.
Yeah, and maybe somebody else also on the tech. How do you see the future of transformers and utilizing them to build new software, new technology? Like, what's your view on using, for example, multiple models, connecting them and linking them, and building software based on AI models?
Maybe like, is this the new building blocks in software or not? Sorry, go ahead.
I think it is becoming more and more clear that now we can concatenate different networks together to have the outputs of one be the inputs of the other, and create more complex functions together. And the issue, however, is still that we have kind of an open loop. It's not a closed feedback loop. Like we go from an input to an output and that's it. And even concatenating different functions. And Da Vinci or Codex, the one that creates code by itself. Is the one that for me is the most exciting because it provides some sort of a way to have a closed feedback in which you can create code which executes. You have an output which will be text, and then the output will be fed back to the codex, which will create another program. And in more complex version of it, I can see them becoming sort of possibly a general intelligence, because you can create functions that can create more complex functions by reinforcing the loop, like the output become the input code and so on. And so you execute the code, get the output of the code, and that output goes as input to the codex model again. And so it goes in a feedback. Possibly may program itself, I don't know. That's the most interesting direction for me.
Okay, it's. I think it's very. It's very open right now how people will figure out new ways to link models, but also multi-model support from one company, multiple models coming out from one company, and how does kind of sticking to one ecosystem versus linking multiple ecosystems, right? But Clinch, you also wanted to add something, right, on using multiple models.
Yes, actually, thank you, Phil. And we can see that all these models, what can be really excited is how accessible they are. And you can see the trend of how OpenAI have like Whisper GPT-3 Codex, .e2, and we have Stability AI who's having Stable Diffusion. And you can see all these tools being open source. And what does it mean is that all of the coders, the developers would be changing the codes and we would be debugging together. And I really love how we change this by accelerating the process of imagining like one person debugging versus like the whole world debugging the system together. So of course, right now when we see AI is like having all these open source tools or free trials like Cohere. So we see that it is gonna be like revolutionizing the world and it is gonna do so much stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I think on our end we really agree with it, and we truly believe that we are fundamentally changing the way we are both building and operating software. The current user interface have been around since basically the birth of computer. So I think we are heading towards a big transformation in the space, which also opens up a lot of opportunities to build software for this new ecosystem, so to say. Pavel, do you have
I have a lot of technology questions, but we are limited by time. So it would be really, I would really like to know what advice would you guys give to people that are interested in understanding AI, understanding generative AI, and joining the hackathon? Like, what's the best advice that you'd give to your students, maybe, or that you would give to your friends, give to your colleagues? Okay, they want to join. What's the best thing that they could do?
Advice would be just like join a hackathon or just any applied project, because one of the unique things about like things like AI hackathons is that the barrier to entry is like it's lower than if you were to get into like hard research. So you can just learn how to apply the tools first, and then after that, understand the theory and like what's going on behind the hood. But yeah, like join ahead of time and learn how to apply the technologies first. That's what I'd recommend.
So ski the mountain first, and then look for an instructor.
Yeah, exactly.
Anybody else? Like, what's good advice that people listening? We had 2,500 people just join us currently on OpenAI Hackathon. Before that, almost 2,000 on Cohere Hackathon. So, what's the advice for people joining?
I think something that helped us a lot is definitely apply it first. But as you're playing with it, for example, using Cohere's playground or some of these playgrounds that companies tend to give you for, like OpenAI has their own. Just play around with the models and see how what you give it as input changes what it outputs. And then just keep tweaking it and try to critically think, why could that be happening, even if you have no idea what's going on in the background. You can usually start doing some critical thinking on that, and then once you move on into the mathematics, which you can't escape, unfortunately, you can start getting deeper into the theory, but you've already been developing on your intuition a little bit. And I think that helps both make it more fun, because you can start related to, oh, this could be cool if we could do it for this that I hate doing. And then you already have a niche case that you can try it out on a hackathon. And that's what the hackathons are great, because you can quickly test small ideas, and you have an incentive to do so in a team.
Awesome. So maybe for Omar as well. So what's the lessons learned? Like bringing your team, getting your students in. What are their takeaways? What did they learn? According to you, like, what's your opinion? What did they actually learn in a hackathon?
Okay, actually, we separate the AI like old school and new school. Old school is using like classification and regression and all things that we build from C++ and do it like TensorFlow and things like this. But in this hackathon, they started to use technologies like Whisper AI, GPT, and things advanced, but simply more than others. Actually, with them, they do a better performance. They would do more training and cost more computer power. So for them, they love to do it. And actually, like we only retrieve functions to do a better job with little time. For them, this were better, so better for them.
Great. I mean, I think that's the whole idea of the performance increase, right? That we are experiencing. Christian, would love to hear your thoughts. Like, what was your takeaway? What was the lesson learned working with the team, working on generative AI, and working on this project? What can you take back to your day-to-day life?
Perhaps it is more of a lesson on business, let's say, but it's also a reminder, because you know it, but you, when you do research, you often forget about it. If you want to do something practical, like the project that we did for the hackathon, possibly you don't have to exactly understand the math behind all models. You have to understand it as a black box, like what to give it and what to get out from it. And possibly you can possibly even build businesses around it without having to exactly know the math and all the theory behind it. The basics usually are fine. You can just search for the optimal function which is already created, and then go from there. And you may have even great results.
Okay, anybody else? Last person to answer that. What was the takeaway, lessons learned?
Maybe just don't be afraid of the changes, because I know like maybe we are like very good at C++, and suddenly we have to go import all those things in a Python environment. But just go face it, just go learn it. You're gonna love it, play around with it. Yeah, that's just the advice that I want to give to everyone.
That is truly inspiring, and it's quirky how that sounds, but it is truly inspiring. Christian, you want to add something? I saw. No, you're okay.
Yeah, I was just muting the microphone.
That's right. So I think we're going to finish off just by asking you guys, okay, so you're done with the hackathon. What are your plans for the future? Like, are you going to take these projects further? Are you going to implement AI in your daily life in terms of generative AI? Are you going to build other things? And are you coming back to the next hackathon? So it would be great to see like what's next for you around these projects or using.
For me, when it comes to this project itself, I think I said this earlier, but it's currently deployed in Cohere's community Discord. So I think I'll probably have to figure out like what my time constraints are because I'm working on multiple projects. But I still am working on like another generative art or not generative art, like generative AI project, which involves like creating reference tools for artists so that they can discover resources more quickly. So that'll definitely be working on over the next couple months. Beyond that, most of my attention will probably be towards like learning more conceptual stuff though.
Great. Anybody else? What's next? That's a great answer, Vikram. What's next? What are you going to work on? Whether it's this or something else, and transformers involved in your day to day in the future.
So I can go over that. As a team, we haven't really discussed too much of the future of the product itself, but we are all in agreement that we're going to keep learning the different technologies that are underlying what we build. I think there's a lot of potential to build businesses around the idea, maybe not healthcare in particular, which is the one that we've tackled as a real case scenario for this hackathon. We all come from different backgrounds, so our intentions about the future are different. I personally use this a lot in my daily life to help me write articles, to help me write thesis now. This is a pretty generative AI in general. And I plan on the next 2 months or so to explore things I can use AI for to help make my life easier as a student, either solving assignments, writing essays and stuff like that, become more productive, and specifically apply to game theory, which is something just research interest I have for economics. So I think there's cool opportunities there. So I'll keep myself busy for sure.
Great. Anybody else wants to share?
Yes. So basically, in short, is yes and yes, because I've been telling my juniors about how you should start learning AI and stuff like that ever since I joined LabLab. And I can see the potential that I am gonna be furthering on all of the projects that I've built here, because I have actually contacted my teammates and I have asked them out. Like some of them might be busy with their stuff, then it's okay. And those who feel like they want to continue, we just form a group and discuss about the plans. And whenever we have time, we just continue building all those stuff. So all those things would be like launching. Maybe we would have like the free models because I'm in the mental health field. So we plan out on how to use them to help more people, and about whether it's gonna earn or whether it's gonna like make it far. We're gonna see how things work out, but I love it so far. Yeah.
Thank you for that, and thank you for getting more people involved and sharing your experiences, everybody. I think this was a great talk, and we're going to be continuing with the community talk. So we'll be inviting future winners and future participants to share their experience. Our goal is really to get as many people building with artificial intelligence as possible, right? So it's really inspiring for other people to hear, okay, you can actually learn and enter, or if you're already very experienced, you can actually build something that is completely creative. Find people that are like-minded like you, or bring people with you, which is also great. And then you can actually take the projects that you develop and take them with you into the future. And we'll be supporting that more and more as we develop our business and our platform. So it was really great to see everybody. And we will love to see you at the next hackathons. There is one coming up this Friday, which is creating AI-driven search with semantic search and support for 100 different languages from Cohere. So that's pretty good. We're very excited. And then we'll have another one with AI21 in early January. And then hopefully other hackathons will be popping up on the website. So for me, it was really great to hear and to get your feedback. And we would like to learn more. So if you have, please write to us. Write to Anastasia, Nasty, write to anybody in the team. If we can do things better, we always want to improve. And that's to everybody here on the panel and to everybody listening. And really thank you for being an inspiration to the next generation of builders and joining this real wave of AI technology. And it's great to have you. That's me. Matthias, do you want to add something?
No, just thank you everyone for spending a little time here with us. And like Pavel said, your feedback are super valuable. So anything anyone here on the stream or that are viewing or general in community, you have feedback, we would love to hear about it. We just want to create like the best place online for people to come together and build with this type of technologies. And we are overall in a truly exciting time. We have been in this space for quite a long time, and we can see how things are accelerating, so to say. So yeah, I'm telling my own friends all the time, regardless what they're doing, like you should look at this AI stuff, because I really believe it's gonna be impactful. I really believe it will impact all job at the computer, and it will happen pretty fast also. So yeah, thank you everyone for coming, and thank you for being part of the community.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you.